You.
Morning, Phil.
Okay, let's start with the budget. It was the biggest story this week in South Africa for everybody, but did the markets react?
No, not at all. I think a lot of people are anticipating more from the Minister from the budget. A lot of people are anticipating an increase in personal incomes, but we didn't see that. But what we've seen is the Minister shrewdly moving the funds around in a nice manner. So in any budget, to be able to balance it, you have to take from one end and give to the other. And I think the areas in which he's definitely put a lot of money in is into education, and which I think has been received well by the President and also the opposition parties. I think an area where which is going to really affect the man on the street is that increase in the fuel levies. So we saw him increasing the fuel levies.
I want to talk about the fuel levies just now, but before that, let's talk about these figures that came out. GDP, a little bit better than expected, but 2.1% is not massive. But the trade figures yesterday were shocking.
Yeah, trade figures shocking. Yeah. I think at record lows. We saw some similar numbers in November of last year, and only in December we saw a slight improvement. But in January, numbers were worse than what we saw in November, mainly due to an increase in imports and also a decline in exports in the month of January, mainly being a seasonal decline in exports. But again, I think we still have that huge appetite and thirst for imports, and not a lot is leaving our shores, going overseas and into the emerging markets.
All right, so beginning of the year, we broke through 40,000. Everyone was getting excited about the JSE, and I remember asking you, is this an over-exuberance or is it a realistic view of what's happening? And it's pulled back now. I think we've lost most of the gains that we had this year. What do you make of what's happening on the JSE? Well,
I think there are a number of factors that we need to look at. Firstly, I think we need to look not specifically to South Africa, but internationally. In the last couple of weeks, the main story has been the Fed's stance on quantitative easing, and also the BOE and the European Central Bank. So we saw Ben Bernanke speaking to Senate and Congress on Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. And from his testimony to those two houses, he clearly stated and stood firm by his stance of quantitative easing, and saying it's the most profitable, it's an easier option to try and stimulate the economy. And again, we saw the ECB and the European Central Bank as standing by the similar stance. But I think we're going to still have an environment where we're going to have very, very low interest rates, near to zero, similar to what we've had in Japan for the last almost 20 years.
We've run out of time, but very, very quickly, the fuel story in the budget, because that one's got snuck in, but it's going to have some ripple effects, isn't it? Transport, food even, maybe.
Yeah, most definitely. I think what's definitely going to happen is we're going to see petrol prices increasing. We are anticipating about another 80 cent or 70 cent increase in the petrol price next week. But I think without a doubt, we're definitely going to see food prices higher, and without a doubt, transport prices higher.
Oh, dear. Okay, he sighs. All right, Paul, we're going to have to leave it there. But thanks very much for giving us your overview of what's happened this week.
Pleasure.
We'll see you again soon.
Thanks.